Everybody likes to discuss what's wrong with education. Why are our schools failing? Why are they so messed up on so many different levels? Well, most people ask this question and they're completely unprepared to actually engage with most of the intricate points of the conversation. I was recently watching Molyneux's assessment of World War I and all of his, basic commentary of the social impact of World War I, and I think he hits on something that I think is extremely important. World War I apparently brought about this public education model when the government really got involved in schools, dictated what was going on in the schools, and one of the most important things that came out of that was a militarization of the schools. Students were taught the ideals of military perfection and martial awareness, and so much emphasis was placed upon conformity and, obedience to authority. Now, has the school system still utilized a lot of these tropes? Yeah. Just look at the current assessment paradigm, where we, identify a few objectives, we identify a few points for assessment and evaluation, and we are still, on a fundamental level, imprinting information in children and adult students' heads and expecting them to fundamentally regurgitate this information back, not use it in a holistic manner. This creates a learner, this creates a human being that is more acclimated to obedience. The funny thing is it's really easy to sit back and condemn the system for this behavior and say, no, it's bad, you shouldn't do that, abolish the public school system. But, you don't necessarily have to demonize public schools and the philosophy of public schools in order to have a realistic and, important conversation about this. Why do they still take an industrial model as identified by Sir Ken Robinson? Why do we educate students in batches? Why do we, do assessment based upon prepackaged goals and knowledge of basic, surface level concepts? We do that because that's all we've ever done. No one has really gone into the educational sphere and sought to holistically build a curriculum that builds whole learners, that engages more on building the ability to learn, teaching students to engage, fostering curiosity, making independence the goal of the learner. What's more likely to be successful if you're trying to get a student to pass a standardized test? Someone who can reliably regurgitate the terms, or someone who can teach themselves the specifics of what you are trying to evaluate? It would if this is one of those big social experiments that I would really like to conduct, unfortunately I would need a bunch of other people's kids to do it. I'd be willing to bet that if I could just focus on building independent learning skills, building really good study techniques, showing them how to access information, showing them how to exercise concepts, showing them how to explore and engage, I'd be willing to bet that those students would pass that standardized exam without necessarily following the very rigid and non-engaging curriculum that most schools adopt. Unfortunately, does anybody want to anybody want to volunteer their kids as guinea pigs? It's depressing, but, that's all for today.